My name's Nick Mercer, and stage name go by the name Nick Mercer Jr. And I'm based in London. I'm from Scotland, as you could tell, and I've been here for about 5 years now. I am a singer-songwriter, yeah. So generally, most of the time, I write songs and then I sing them to people, and that's kind of my job description. And that's what I'm lucky enough to do most days of my life. I was always into music growing up, but in school, when I was in school in Scotland when I was young, I never studied music. I never played an instrument. It was just a hobby. I was into bands. I was into like the way they looked and the way they sounded, and I was into the whole package of it all. And all I did was go watch live music, even though I didn't play anything. I was able to sing a little bit, so I kind of just hung on to that a little bit. But my main thing when I was younger was to play football, and that was always my number one dream. And when it became apparent that that wasn't going to happen, just for a number of reasons, you just wasn't good enough, too small. I kind of just then decided that I was like, I'm going to do music now. So I left school. I got a guitar pretty much straight after I left school, and I locked myself away that summer and learned how to play it, and started writing songs. And from that point onwards, I formed a band, and the first sort of 10 to 15 songs that we wrote, kind of took us on this journey that like we would never have been able to guess would happen to us. And that's what I did for 5 or 6 years in the same band after that. As every band does, I think, when they start off, you just kind of want to be the best in your own backyard. So like literally we didn't even think about the cities, we just thought about the little town that we came from, and we just wanted to be the best band there. So that was what it was all about for us. And then once we'd done that and people would come and see us, we sort of thought, let's see if we can take this outside. And we did. And then it kind of just went across the whole of Scotland very quickly. And we got swept up by all the sort of usual music industry stuff, like music management, labels down in London, and things like that. And we went and recorded a record and got put on tour with all these bands that we grew up idolising, I suppose. Well, it ended with us supporting Oasis on tour. So that kind of sums up the whole thing, really. It kind of went full circle, you know. I mean, a lot of people should say that you shouldn't meet your idols, and people should say that it's like it's you're always just going to be let down. But for me, it was the complete opposite. Like they were brilliant with us, and we learnt a lot from them, and they invested into us as well. Like they, you know, it wasn't just like they ignored us. They kind of took us under their wing a little bit, and that was brilliant, you know. And like when you're a teenager, I was a little bit older than a teenager at that point, but early 20s, and that was exciting, really exciting. We were all very young, and we were all very naive, and I think we probably got ahead of ourselves a little bit, because the ultimate ending of the story is that it ended in catastrophe. It kind of all just blew up, and it kind of just, the bottom just completely fell out of it, and it left us kind of just hanging on there with nothing. So as far as a learning experience goes, from going up all the way and then coming all the way back down again, it's I could probably describe it as being one of the best things to happen in my life, and probably one of the worst things to happen. But because of that, now that I'm older, I could reflect on it, and just like the amount of knowledge and wisdom that you got from going through an experience like that is second to none, you know. And it's you take a lot from it. I think when you have success, in any way, shape or form, it gives you confidence. We were so naive that we didn't know what we were really doing in the first place anyway, and we just did it and it worked. So as much as anybody else, we had no idea how we got there, and I think that for me, that's the beauty of it. You know, like I didn't have a master plan, didn't have an A to B, didn't have a we've got to do this first, do this next. We can't do this. It was just like we did what we wanted to do, and I think as an artist, if you do, I personally feel that the only way you can do something is if it's what you want to do. I think when you try and lean different ways and do something that isn't really you, then it doesn't work. I couldn't write about the same things now as I did when I was 18. I'm not going through the same things. I'm not living the same life, and I think that it's impossible to write the same songs again, and I wouldn't want to anyway. You know, I always think about you wouldn't be who you are now if it wasn't for the mistakes that you'd made anyway, or the things that you did. I kind of feel like now that I'm a little bit older, hopefully a lot more wiser, and with so much more to life than myself in terms of having family, having kids. I kind of feel like just not worrying so much as like not worrying at all just releases everything, especially when you come to creativity. I think when you start writing a song and then you worry about whether it's going to be good enough, then you're not going to go anywhere. All the best songs, I suppose, were written in 5 minutes and in some hotel room somewhere or on a bus singing into a phone. Like when you're not trying, that's kind of when it works for me. So I just kind of try not to worry about trying too hard and just let it flow. I think all my favourite records, the artists that were making those records at the time had no idea what they were making, and they had no idea that what order the songs they were going to put them in was. They never sat down and kind of made it as perfect as they could. They had no idea. It's only on an afterthought, and it's only on hindsight that you look back and go, I don't think you'd be able to make that record as perfect as it is again, even if you tried. Sometimes magic just happens and it just works, and it's the same with movies, and it's the same with painting. Everything's like that. If you strive for perfection, then it's never ever going to happen, ever, never ever ever. And you probably find actually the people that made those records probably don't think it's perfect whatsoever, but the general consensus of the public is it's the best album that's ever been written, or it's the best movie ever made. Whereas the person that's created it will still probably watch it and think, oh, why did I do that there, or why was that song even on that album, sort of thing. I think as a person, I've grown up so much, and I think gradually you realise what matters and what doesn't matter. And nowadays, I mean, I've got an amazing set of friends and family around me. I've got a little girl, I've got a wife, and you can't even compare anything to those things. My dream was if I could just write songs for a living and I could sing for a living, no matter what that living is, it doesn't matter. I mean, when I moved to London and I worked for 3 or 4 years before, and I didn't do any music. I just wanted to just work. I just wanted to get a job, and just kind of work, and I just left music alone. I didn't touch it, and it was about 2 years ago that I picked up a guitar again, and I just went head on into it, and I just left my job like that. I just literally walked out the job one day, and I said I'm going to go do this again, and that was when I realised that because of what I had done previously, I was in a fortunate position to still be able to make money off the back of that, off the back of the success previously. I didn't think I was, but I was still able to then tap into that to continue to make a living from it, and that's what I've done, and that's kind of what I'll continue to do. So while I'm doing that, I get the chance to have time to concentrate on writing, and and just recording and developing something new. And I think in society's eyes, I might not look like I'm at the Brit Awards or I'm in the top of the charts, but in my eyes, I'm completely succeeding because I'm doing what I want to do.